Mizzou Xtra starts now.
It's a win 14 years in the making, and we're breaking it all down on Mizzou Xtra. How Brabula and Coleman's connection has created nonstop offense for the Tigers. And Mizzou Xtra football analyst Howard Richards joins the show, breaking down the big win over the Jayhawks. Plus, we explore the Missouri roots of a new Tiger gymnast. It's all here, it's all now on Mizzou Xtra. Hello and welcome to Mizzou Xtra. I'm KMU8 Sports' Jacob Siciliano. When the clock hit 0 and the scoreboard read Tigers win, you could hear the roar all the way from Lawrence. By the way, I was just 2 years old the last time the Tigers bested the Jayhawks in Como. Just some baby food for thought. Do you know how it happened? Do you know how the Tigers did it? Yeah, that man right there, Bo Prabula, at least in part. He threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, which puts him at over 600 yards on the young season. His passing grade of 93 ranks him second in the nation behind Tennessee's Joey Aguilar. He was named to the Maxwell National Player of the Week list this week and to the Davey O'Brien Great 8. One of his favorite targets, Kevin Coleman Jr., says their mindsets are always the same.
Two guys that just want to be perfect all the time. We work for perfection. We just work to be the best we can be. But like you said, once we got here in January, me and Bo got together, knew what was the task. Knew we would be in these type of moments, close games, and have to overcome when we're down.
Prabula will certainly have a chance to shine in his SEC debut, but now in prime time, South Carolina's battle at Missouri will be at 6 or 6:30 p.m. on ESPN or ABC. This will be the Tigers' 4th confirmed night game of the season. The kids are going to love that. College game day also could come to the town for the night. Mizzou will rival Florida at Miami and Illinois at Indiana, among others, to host the pregame show. Game day has not traveled to Columbia, Missouri since October of 2010. Primetime is when the big moments shine, and that's where Bo and the Tigers offense has delivered in the game's biggest moments, especially on 4th down. KMU8 Sports' Hudson Summerall has more. Mizzou may be 2-0, but head coach Eli Drinkwitz emphasized that winning is not just the standard is the standard. Drinkwitz is looking for improvement even after the win over their biggest rival, the potential victim of that improvement, the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. The Ragin' Cajuns present a formidable rushing attack with 2 running backs over 100 yards apiece. Drinkwitz was quick to point out that Mizzou's very own Ahmad Hardy hailed from the Sun Belt. Stopping the run for the game will be key for the Tigers, which they certainly executed against the Kansas Jayhawks. They were held to just 31 rushing yards. Compare that to the nearly 500 yards they put up on the ground in the first 2 games. Mizzou has had a lot of positives heading into Week 3, but Drinkwitz is still not satisfied.
There's a lot of stuff that was really disappointing when we watched the tape, and I think all of us felt it and knew that we got to play better. Run a day one play and can't get a yard like that. That ain't good enough. That ain't good enough versus anybody. So I'm not going to pretend and pat each other on the back and act like we've got all this stuff figured out. Like, the name of the game's improvement.
This weekend was full of Tigers excelling on the football field, but it wasn't just at Faroe. 2025 top 10 pick Armand Membou made his pro debut for the New York Jets, and what a debut it was. Membou is the highest graded rookie offensive lineman and the PFF's top rated O-lineman in the entire league. He allowed no sacks, pressures, or even QB hits when blocking the 7-time Pro Bowler TJ Watt. Drinkwitz says it means a lot to have his guys chasing their dreams.
You know, wins and losses are going to come, and they're going to go, and they're going to be fleeting. And you can have a big win Saturday, but by Sunday you're already mad and moving on to the next thing. And but when you watch guys fulfill, their dreams and see all their hard work and perseverance pay off, I think that's really when you find satisfaction in the job that you do.
more than making the big plays when it counts, the Tigers improved in the stat books to close the game. In the first half against Auburn, Mizzou 67% on third downs. Jumped to the second half, not so hot, converting just 16% of attempts. In OT, just one conversion, but it was on 3rd and 10 to lead the game-winning touchdown drive. The Tigers improved on the defensive side of the ball as well. They allowed just over 100 yards of offense in the first, sacking Arnold 3 times. In the second half, they saw 240 yards of offense in just 1 sack, but in OT, Auburn went backwards, tallying -5 yards with a crucial sack in the final drive. Last week, we told you Nick Saban has said that he believes Jordan Hare is haunted. Spooky. Well, Mizzou was able to escape the haunted house here in October. The legendary Alabama coach also said that the only place in the SEC that hasn't been hard to play in is Vanderbilt. Hate to break it to you, Coach, but that might have changed. The Commodores are off a top 10 upset of LSU. Quarterback Diego Pavia led the charge with 3 touchdowns, 2 of which were on the ground. The Tigers faced Pavia last season in Como, resulting in a double overtime win. Pavia threw for 3 touchdowns and rushed for over 80 yards in their loss. Tough opponents lead to tough situations. Josiah Trotter and Drinkwitz are locked into improving from Auburn mistakes.
It's hard to make a lot of guys miss when everyone's running to the football. So we just got to make sure we just execute our job, run to the football, and just do what we do.
Football teams either continue to get better each week or they get stagnant, And there's a great Sean McVay quote about the best teams don't have to be the best at everything. They got to be the best at what they do. And so, the challenge for us is figuring out what exactly we feel like we're really good at and keep improving at it.
While Mizzou is figuring out what they're really good at, Vandy has been on the Cinderella run of a lifetime, the glass slipper fitting. The Commodores are ranked in the top 10 for the first time since 1947. In 1950, that was the year we saw Cinderella lose her glass slipper. It was also the last time Vanderbilt held a 6-1 record. College Game Day will dance on the Vanderbilt campus for the first time since 2008. Clark Lee's wish of turning Vandy into a top program has certainly produced results across the 2019 to 2023 seasons. The Commodores tallied just 9 wins, but in 2024 and 2025, they've seen 12 wins with 7 more games left to go on the schedule.
On to volleyball. The Tiger volleyball team did not endure the same preseason snub from the pollsters. Mizzou is ranked 17th in the preseason top 25, their highest preseason ranking since 2014. Tigers are reloading for the new season, which begins August 23rd at Omaha. Gone are some big-time producers like Jordan Iliff and Michael Vernon. Both of them averaged 4 kills per set last year. So Mizzou brought in last season's Division I kills leader in Kaylin Alexander from Hawaii. They've also got the number 10 recruit in the nation, Asia Harvey. She'll help out as well. And then there's 2-time SEC Libero of the Year, Maya Sands, and All-SEC setter Marina Crownover, both back from last season. Head coach Don Sullivan says she sees the fire, even with a tough schedule on the horizon.
Traveling on the road, it does wear you out a little bit, but like I said, this team, they love to compete. That's one thing I've noticed them from day one is they'll step on that court and they're like, okay, it's time to go. We're going to go on the road and we're going to battle and making sure we know who we are no matter where we're playing.
Plenty of growth opportunities on the road for Don Sullivan's team. They have just 8 home games this season, only 1 in the non-con. That's September 9th when they host Stanford at Hearn Center. Mizzou will travel to Omaha, Fort Myers, Florida, and Fort Worth, Texas, all in the first 2 months of the season. And life won't get much easier on the road in the SEC as the Tigers open up with Texas A&M and then face 2 top 10 teams on their schedule. It all leads up to the return of the SEC volleyball tournament at the end of November.
Nothing like putting pen to paper. Or maybe Mizzou's class of 2026 used a quill. You never know. I prefer crayon. Whatever gets the job done. All Mizzou sports got signature action this week. Softball signed Audrey Cathy, the number 36 ranked prospect in the country. Mizzou softball sits at the 23rd overall class. And back on the court with Kelly Harper, she signed her first class as women's hoops head coach. Her inaugural class included Natalia Hodge, who's a top 80 recruit according to ESPN. Gymnastics signed 6 recruits to its number 6 ranked class. 6-6. Thank gosh they're not 7. Amani White is the 5th overall recruit, the highest recruit in program history. But the headline goes to Dennis Gates and his #1 overall ranked class. Jason Crow Jr., ranked 5th, is the highest recruit to commit to the Tigers since Michael Porter Jr. And don't forget about Tony Bryant, who's another top 15 prospect. The class is rounded out by Aiden Chronister, a top 90 recruit. Mizzou volleyball was riding high on a 7-game winning streak, plus its first ranked win over Tennessee in Knoxville. But things changed quickly in the SEC with back-to-back losses affecting their postseason chances. This weekend is the final weekend of the regular season. Depending on results from across the conference, Mizzou could end up as high as a 4 seed in the SEC tournament or as low as 12th. They currently sit at 9th, missing out on a bye. In the NCAA tournament, the Tigers sit at number 45 in RPI. They are 1 out of the first 4 in ESPN's bracketology. This would be the first missed tournament appearance of the Dawn Sullivan era. Coming up, it's the best plays from the win over the Golden Gophers in the Tiger Top 5.
With a schedule as tough as the SEC, Mizzou softball for the first time in history hosted 3 different #1 teams. They handed the 4-time defending champs their first loss of the season, and the #1 Aggies, they left Como with a run-rule loss.
Missouri has just run-ruled the #1 team in the country.
On their home court, Mizzou volleyball upset second-seeded SMU to secure a trip to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017. In just 2 years, Dawn Sullivan has taken Mizzou from bottom of the SEC to national title contenders.
That will do it. M-I-Z.
With just 30 seconds left against Oklahoma, Tristan Newsome takes down Jackson Arnold, and Zion Young gets the go-ahead scoop-and-score touchdown. The win over the Sooners led Mizzou to back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time since 2013 and 2014.
Madness in Columbia.
Why, of course, it's the Beam Queen, Helen Hu. But not one of her 3 perfect 10s. It's her 9.9875 beam routine that made her Mizzou's first individual national champion and sent the team to 4 on the floor for the first time ever.
Missouri just made it to the Final 4.
When the Tigers beat the Jayhawks on Norm Stewart Court, that's a #1 play all day. And KU ranked #1, that's just the cherry on top. The students stormed the court after the 5th win over a #1 team in school history. At number 5, Tiger teammates went 19th overall in back-to-back drafts. First, Jeremy Macklin in 2009 as the Eagles surprised some folks, snapping up the speedy Mizzou receiver.
Philadelphia Eagles select Jeremy Macklin.
J-Mac flew to Philly on the heels of back-to-back All-American seasons in Columbia. And just a year later, linebacker Sean Weatherspoon went 19th to the Atlanta Falcons. Number 4, Sheldon Richardson only spent 1 year in the SEC, but his 11 tackles for loss and 4 sacks in 2012 convinced the Jets that Richardson was worth a pick at number 13 in 2013.
The New York Jets select Sheldon Richardson.
Big Sheldon went on to rack up 33.5 career sacks in 9 NFL seasons. In 2011, Mizzou produced a pair of top 10 picks in the same draft for the first and only time in program history. The Jacksonville Jaguars took Blaine Gabbert, 10th overall. And while Gabbert didn't prove to be Jacksonville's franchise QB, he did enjoy a lengthy career in the league, winning a pair of Super Bowls as a backup. His Tiger teammate, Aldon Smith, went to San Francisco 3 picks earlier.
The San Francisco 49ers select Aldon Smith.
Smith enjoyed off and on success in the NFL thanks to off-field problems, but had 19.5 sacks for San Fran in his second year, his lone All-Pro season. And at number 1, the highest selected Tiger in history, Justin Smith.
Cincinnati Bengals select Justin Smith, defensive end from Missouri.
After a stellar 3 seasons in the black and gold, the Cowboy went 4th overall to the Cincinnati Bengals in 2001. matching the highest a Mizzou player has ever been taken in the NFL draft.